but he's gonna do like all the shebang. Okay, let me pull up my notes. Okay. All right. Are you ready?
I'm ready.
I want to apologize before we get started because I sound like a smoker, if you will. I promise I don't, but you gotta love the congestion. Welcome to. We don't have to stare at ourselves in the camera.
I don't
Let's
know.
let's paint the picture here for our listeners. We're sitting in the gym office. That's still not fully done. We each have our drinks in hand. Um,
Water.
we've got my laptop that's facing us, so we're recording on Skype, and we don't know whether to look at each other or look at each other in the video. So if you see us start to get a little awkward, that's why. We are here beyond the surface with Maddie Jenkins, and we've got our first guest.
Yay.
Kari, you're our first guest.
So excited.
This is so cool. Kari Drehs. She is the co-owner of Atomic Lux Salon. She's a mom of two boys. She's also a competitive powerlifter. And she's a health advocate for as long as I've known you, which would be a little over a year now.
Mm-hmm.
You are one that definitely you advocate for yourself, but for other women when it comes to our health and not just physically.
Yeah.
I think everybody gets the misconception that people that are lifters, that's all they care about is lifting. But there's so much more to it too that help impact your life. So if you want to give us a little bit more about your background, how you got it started with your business and kind of getting into powerlifting, just give us a little bit of who you are.
Um, let's see. So I've been in the hair industry since 2000. Um, I've known since I was little that I was going to do hair.
No.
Always experimenting with my hair, my friends' hair. When I was 14, my mom, when she was battling cancer, she sat me down and said, "This is what you're going to do. You're going to do hair. You're going to be great at it." So I just kind of followed with that. We own Atomic Lux Salon. Me and my best friend Jessica Chadwick. We worked together before at Teradyne for a couple of years throughout COVID, and then decided to move on into our hometown of Derby. So we did that. We've had the salon going on 3 years. So, and then we've got Alicia Rickstreet in the salon with us doing lashes. As far as powerlifting, finding out that I had scoliosis at 43, late in life, not late in life, but older. I always knew I had back issues. My back would go out, but I didn't ever know why. So I had an injury that led to x-rays and finding out that I am double S. So I have 32 and 32 lumbar and thoracic. So with the approval of my ortho, he said, lifting weights is the best thing to do. So I just kind of ran with it. And powerlifting is where that all came into play. So,
well, okay, so let's talk a little about you. Did you ever think powerlifting would be something that you would be doing?
No, never. Never.
I was actually thinking about that this morning, when knowing that we had this podcast to record. And I was like, I remember the first time I met you, and it was her son, Milo, shout out Milo, is one of our high school lifters. And he was grandfathered in to our high school powerlifting program when he was an eighth grader.
Mm-hmm.
And Kari drove him to practice. And I was walking out of practice from the high school, and I think Milo had gotten in the car, was sitting in the car, and you come out and beep up. And I'm like, completely not, I don't even know. I was in my zone. I was like, I think I was going like to my next session is what it was. And you're just like, hi, I'm Milo's mom. I hear you do X, Y, and Z. And it's so funny to look at because I never would have thought it at that point either that you would be eventually one of my power lifters. You're just interested in strength training and get into fitness. And
I actually, Milo had talked about it, off and on, like who got who into what.
Yeah.
I still say it's me. I got him into lifting because I had been lifting. I've been weight training for about 3 years, and then with the whole injury thing. So I got him going first. However, watching him and how much he enjoyed powerlifting, I'm like, okay, yeah. So I'm going to talk to Maddie and see if she wants to personal train me.
Yeah.
And then that was the same day that you were signing your lease for the garage.
Oh my gosh, that was the same
Mm-hmm.
day.
Same. You go. Funny thing is, I'm
Oh my
signing a lease for the
gosh.
garage, and that's really where everything
Yeah,
kind of started.
because you did come to classes in our house
Mm-hmm.
garage.
Mm-hmm.
Oh my, that gave me
So
goosebumps.
yeah,
That's
I've been
so
with you
cool.
since July.
Yep, and I
Yeah.
became an LLC in July.
Uh-huh. Uh-huh.
Wow. Okay, full circle moment. I didn't even
Yeah.
think about that. I just
But
remember.
Milo wants to say, shout out Milo, that he is the one that got me into powerlifting. So
I guess we'll never truly
yeah.
know. I mean, you can decide for yourselves who really got who into powerlifting. Okay, the first thing that we're going to kind of talk about, we have several points. I would like everybody to be aware. I had sent Kari this whole
Oh my
document
gosh.
with
So many questions.
so many questions, so many topics. So our whole thing is we'll go over what we can and kind of see what we deep dive through. And if we don't make it through
I'm a
everything,
talker. I'm a talker.
yeah, Kari will just have to come on again. Darn. Darn. I'll have to have her on again. The first thing we're going to talk about is just prioritizing overall health. You have been someone that's been prioritizing your health, not just when you've been diagnosed with scoliosis, but I feel like, I mean, your
Mm-hmm.
whole life, it was something, I mean, you had to watch your mom
Mm-hmm.
battle cancer, and it was an
Mm-hmm.
eye opener for you. So, can you talk a little about your journey and how that has evolved? Like, what was the first step you feel like you took in order to prioritize your health?
Uh, I would say definitely getting older around, 40, that's kind of a big change for me. And when you hit 40s, things start changing in a way that you didn't realize. So, prioritizing my eating habits, working out, doing all of that, walking, all of that. So,
Did you have anything specific that kind of made you flip that switch in your head and be like, I need to prioritize me? Like,
yeah, for sure. Well, running a business, prior to the salon that we own now, um, making sure that I take care of myself,
yeah,
because I feel like when you are dealing with clients day in, day out, there's a lot of like energy that is sucked out of you.
yes.
It's not a bad thing. It's
No.
just you have to be on all the time.
Yeah.
So I feel like with working out, lifting weights, that was basically my stress reliever.
Yeah.
And I needed to flip the switch because I would just come home and do nothing.
Yeah.
And then have no energy to do anything because I was just wiped out
Right.
throughout the day. So I would definitely say, yeah, just the changes
Owning
of
your
everything.
business.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Yeah. And filling other people's cup. You
Yeah.
realize how much you don't fill your own
Mm-mm,
too.
mm-mm.
So can you talk more about like the balance that you have to find between, I mean, you're a mom too. Every I think every mom that listens to this is aware that it's hard being a mom
Mm-hmm.
because you are working for your kids
Yeah.
and
Yes.
their needs come before your own.
Mm-hmm.
So how, not just with being a mom, but being a business owner as well,
Mm-hmm.
being a wife,
Mm-hmm.
how do you balance all that? How do you?
I I say this a lot, and I've just said this just recently. I carve out time for myself, so I take care of me 1st,
Mhm.
and then I can take care of everybody else throughout the day. I think it's really important that you make sure that you prioritize yourself.
Yeah.
Some people may think it's selfish or whatever, but I don't feel like that because you're not taking care of yourself. How do you take care of your family,
Right.
your business, your clients, your
Yeah.
friends, your family, like all of that? How do you, if you're just wiped out,
Yeah, then how can you help
how
anybody
can you
else?
help anybody?
So how do you make sure that you're able to do that? Do you have to follow a certain schedule?
Oh, I am a routine person to a T. If I am off at all, I am grumpy.
Yeah.
I feel lost. I feel like
Yeah.
I didn't accomplish anything.
Yeah.
So I'm definitely a morning person. I come in and get it done. And then after that, it's just,
Yeah, you have the whole rest of your day.
yeah, I've got my clients that are scheduled. Evening time is for family.
Yeah.
I try to shut everything down as far as like social media. Try.
Good. Yeah, we all
It's
know that.
hard.
Yeah.
It's hard, but try to turn it off. Be there for the kids.
Yeah.
Be there for my husband. Yeah.
So let's say something the unexpected were to happen and not just for one day, but for like a week, like kind of like your car wreck.
Mm-hmm.
How did you continue to make sure not just to find the motivation, but to keep that consistency?
Well, one of the things I had told you, program me.
Mhm.
That will get me into the
Yep.
gym, get me moving. Um, Being in the gym alone, there's an aura to it. There's a vibe.
Mhm.
Your people. Um, I had to stay in the gym.
Yeah.
There's no way I could take a step back. I mean, I took a couple of days off from the wreck. Just my CNS was shot,
Right.
and it was kind of a big deal. But just making sure I got into the gym.
You're good.
It told me to eat. um,
She sets reminders on her Apple Watch.
yeah, that's how we schedule our days.
Stand up. Take a breath. Don't you hate that?
I get to eat. So yeah.
Okay.
Mentally, I had to be in the gym.
Yes. So let's piggyback on that. We're going to skip around a little bit. So Carrie and her family kind of not just, it's been 10 weeks. Is that what we said? 12 weeks?
August 23rd. So on
August.
Milo's birthday.
Oh, goodness.
Traumatic.
Let's talk about a little bit what happened there.
Well, short story. We were heading out for Milo's birthday dinner, and the air show was going on. So we had a guy who was unattentive driving, watching the Blue Angels fly over, and we were heading north, and the guy just T-boned us, and our tires hit the grass and flipped us into a ditch. So it happened so quickly.
Yeah.
But the best thing is that people were outside watching the show. So we had people on us so quick, within like 30 seconds.
That's good.
So checked on Milo, like he was fine. Steve was good. He had a little bit of injuries, but he was fine. Milo popped out of the car first. I don't know how he did it because the car was flipped upside down.
Because he's Batman.
He is Batman.
That's why, because he's Batman.
Still to this day, I don't know how he did it, but Steve was able to get out. I was stuck in my seatbelt, so it wouldn't unlatch. So I was kind of hanging. I was hanging up like sideways, and then so bracing myself with my left foot. I had done something to my ankle, not realizing at the time, but I had shoulder injury. I had bone contusion. I had an airbag burn and all that. So I was probably hanging for about 5 minutes, but ultimately I was trying to save my back. That was my goal in that. But my back was fine. Everything's good. So a lot of, bumps and bruises.
Yeah.
Steve, he did some PT. He had a lot of muscle tears and bruising, but I say this all the time, but because I'm self-employed, that's why I was injured. So I walked away with the injuries because we're self-employed. Mason, my oldest, thank goodness he was gone. He was out of town in Colorado. So I'm thankful he was not in the car. But yeah.
And so what kind of came of that? I know we don't have to get into the whole timeline because let's just say Carrie saw several doctors that all wanted to tell her something different.
Every week there was something new. Ultimately, originally it was a stress fracture in my ankle, or my tibia. Walked around in a boot with that for about a month, and then had an MRI, and then it showed it was just a chipped, I don't want to say just, but a chipped cartilage in my ankle. Yeah. So once I found that out, I was able to come out of the boot and start walking without the brace.
It was like, she's walking around here like nothing. I mean, obviously you can still feel.
Every once in a while she gets a little angry,
irritated,
but it's just firing up all those nerves again.
Well, and that's something you and I talked about too, is the benefit that you saw and have been told.
I've been told by my doctor and my PT, because I was fit and so active before, I'm lucky I wasn't hurt
Yeah.
more,
Yeah.
but also because I continued to stay in the gym and do what I could, that was my PT,
Yeah.
and that's what healed me as fast
Yes.
as I
Yes.
did. So, I mean, trust me, it's been long, but
Yeah. I think
we're
that's
there. We're there.
I think that's something people either they don't know, they don't want to believe, or they have never experienced it. Is people see us lifting weights, we're throwing
Mhm.
barbells around. I
Mhm.
like visualize when people talk what they want to talk about people that strength train, women that strength train, that they literally, I visualize them thinking that we're literally chucking barbells
Yeah.
just around and we're
Right.
just
Right.
like
Yeah.
grunting and groaning like the guys do. And that is could not be further from the
No, not.
truth. But you're a prime example of so many benefits that come from strength training
Mhm.
because you're building your body to overcome adaptation. Like that's our bodies
Well,
were created.
to make sure you don't get injured.
Yes, yes.
So that was huge for me when my doctor told me that. I'm like, holy cow. I did think about it like that.
Mhm.
Yeah, she's like, you're lucky, you're strong.
Yeah,
And
I have seen, and you were a prime example, but I've heard of others too that have even said that I mean, they're older clients, they're older members, and they have seen the benefit and the impact
yeah.
that being stronger has had on their bodies with
Yeah.
things
I'm
like
a huge
that.
advocate of, as women, as we're getting older, lifting weights is so important because you don't think about all the things that you deadlift every day.
Yep.
You overhead press
Yep.
every day. Getting on the toilet, you're squatting.
Yes.
Like reaching for something out of the cabinet, overhead press.
Uh-huh.
I mean, I don't know. It's just you don't think about it, but
No.
you do use those movements
Yeah.
every day.
Well, and you never think that those movements would get easier. So they're like, why do I need to work on that? Because
Mhm.
it is what it's going to be.
Well, and also like muscle helps your bone density.
Hmm.
So as you're older,
Yeah.
you need that.
Yeah.
You need it.
Yes. Yes.
Need it.
Well, talking about your injury, what sorry, I'm reading all my questions that I've come follow with me here. I just lost it. Where'd it go?
There's a lot of
I
questions.
apologize, guys.
There's a lot of questions.
um, da, 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 da. I literally just read it. The resilience. What has it taught you? What is
Ooh,
what? Because I know you've over. No, I wouldn't say you've overcome. You're still like you still have scoliosis. That's
yeah.
something that
Oh yeah.
obviously we're correcting, but it's never going to
Mhm.
be fully to the point where it's supposed to be.
Right.
But with scoliosis and the car injury, your ankle injury, your broken stress fracture, what is lessons have you learned?
With my scoliosis, I did find out that with making my back strong and building it as every day, I've actually gained back some degrees in my thoracic, which is huge.
Yes.
That is like
Yes.
that really doesn't happen.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So that to me is the proof in the
Yeah.
pudding, like honestly. So that, and then I know, I keep saying that this is just my season. Having to drop out of the December meet, which that meant a lot to me because it is a breast cancer, all women's meet. It crushed me.
Yeah.
Um, it's just my season. I've learned patience. I am not a patient person. I learned that I just have to walk through it
Yeah.
and get to the other side.
Yeah. Focus on what you can control.
Focus on what I can do because, I was actually able to do quite a bit.
Yeah.
I mean, I was in here.
Oh, you were in here. Yeah.
Working and doing the work.
Honestly, as if nothing had happened. Like all we really did was modify.
Yeah.
You had to adapt and modify, but you were still in here following a program, doing what you could.
Right. And that's huge. My PT said that was, or not my PT, my ortho said that was my PT.
The game changer.
Because I stayed consistent.
Yeah.
So yeah.
And
just, learning patience and learning just to take it day by day.
I think a lot of people would have used that as an excuse.
Oh my gosh.
Not to show up.
Well, I definitely could have been like, well, at the time it was a stress fracture and say, well, I can't do any weight bearing.
Right.
I'm done.
Yeah.
You can't make those excuses
No.
because once you start, you're going to stop.
Right.
And that is the hardest thing to do.
Yeah. Well, let's piggyback on that because we talk about excuses, but we also talk about the balance of giving yourself that grace.
Yeah.
Let's deep dive on the importance you found in recovery.
So recovery, I do, Monday, Tuesday, Thursday, Friday, and then I have the weekends off.
Mm-hmm.
So I allow myself Wednesday as a recovery day. It's an active recovery, but I'm still moving, but I'm not lifting. I'm not doing anything like that. Listening to your body is huge.
Mm-hmm.
There's a difference of, well, I'm sore, but is it pain?
Yep.
There's a huge difference. Like soreness, you can work through. Pain, you got to really dial it in and figure out what are we dealing with.
Yeah.
And if you are, just dial back, listen to your body, don't overdo it.
Yeah.
But I know with recovery, it's super important for you to recover because that's where you're building your strength. That's where you're growing.
Yeah.
So both mentally and physically, not just in the gym, but like mentally growing. And
I think that's something, I mean, you and I have talked about this is we get into this groove, you find the consistency and you see what you are able to achieve and it makes you want to more. You want to push more. And finding that balance of you should not have to come in here and overstress your body, absolutely go balls to the wall every single time to see that progress.
Right.
You shouldn't be doing it. Your body can't do it. That's just not how it happens. So learning the balance of, okay, when you're feeling good, push it, but also acknowledge.
But also, if it's not feeling right, don't overdo it. Right. Don't try because it's only going to upset you.
Yep. Yes.
I've learned that. Just don't. So then you're dealing with the whole mental part of that. But just don't. Just listen to your body.
And so what would you say for those, like when you first started, do you feel like you had a feeling like you knew the ins and outs of your body, or is that something that you had to learn?
I had to learn that, especially with learning of having scoliosis.
Yeah.
Like that's been a huge thing. I have to be careful. I can't just jump in and lift as much weight as I possibly can. Yeah. So I have to be careful with that.
Yeah.
So I have to listen to my body.
Yeah.
And have to,
Yeah. Was there anything that besides being diagnosed with scoliosis, has anything occurred besides the wreck too, that kind of opened your eyes and you're like, oh man, I really do need to pay more attention to when my body's telling me to slow down?
Working. So standing on my feet all day. It does make a difference.
Oh yeah.
Throughout the week.
Oh yeah.
Like sometimes deadlift day.
Yeah.
If I was on my feet all day long, that makes a big difference on how I'm going to perform deadlift.
Oh yeah.
And I have to take that into account. Be like, okay, give myself some grace. And it was just a rough day the day before. Or, I didn't eat well. I wasn't on my protein. I didn't drink enough water.
Yeah.
Like it's been kind of crazy, especially being a woman too. Like that whole thing. You've got your weeks where you feel like a beast, and then you have weeks where you're just like, what am I even doing here?
Yes.
So listening to your body it's huge. It's been very eye-opening.
Yeah.
Very eye-opening.
And we go back and forth on this as females. I think our younger selves, we take for granted, I should say, being younger. I say this, I'm 26 going on 27. I'm still young, but my hormones are affecting me.
Yeah.
And I
mine
mean,
too.
yes. Yeah. As you get older, like they're going to affect you even more. And you don't realize the impact they have on you.
Yeah.
Physically.
Yeah.
How you feel.
Yeah. And having thyroid issues.
Oh, geez. We can go into that too.
The inflammation. Is awful. It's awful.
I feel like Kari and I, every single day, we always talk about our thyroid just because of how much of an impact it has on us.
I never thought in a million years that it actually did.
Never understood it.
But like extreme fatigue.
Oh my
It's
gosh.
just insane.
It's ridiculous that
Mm-hmm.
I had to explain it to because my grandma didn't really know what hypothyroid was. Well,
Mm-hmm.
she has it.
Yeah.
Found that out too.
Oh,
Yeah, it's like I had no idea. She goes, oh, yeah, I've been on medication for it for I
what?
don't even know how long. Had no
Oh
idea.
gosh. Okay.
But she's been battling fatigue. And I'm like,
Yeah.
well, could that be your thyroid? Anyway, but I'm researching more about it because I want to know more about it.
Mm-hmm.
And there's an article that was like, it's your immune system attacking your
Yeah.
thyroid. It's like, oh my gosh, that's
Which
crazy.
ties into your gut health.
Right. Yeah.
You don't think about it.
No. No.
So yeah, if you're battling thyroid and you're constantly inflamed, then your
Yeah.
gut is just like holes in it.
Oh,
So
gee.
then all the medication and all the things, it's
Yes.
just seeping through, which I didn't know.
I didn't know that
I
either.
didn't know that.
I didn't know that either. Let's preface by saying neither one of us are doctors. Neither one of us are
No.
professionals. We're truly speaking based off experience.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. When were you diagnosed with hypothyroid?
About 9 years ago.
Okay.
So it was, yeah, Milo was almost 5. So,
Okay.
yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's just so for because I have had a few girls reach out to me. I heard you've been talking about how you are hypothyroid. I just found out
Mm-hmm.
and I mean I was diagnosed December of last year, a year into it. And
Yeah.
do you still feel like you're learning and having to
Oh yeah.
figure
Well, learning now. Well, I was told that we should be eating more of a autoimmune
yeah.
protocol
Yeah.
diet, which sad and depressing.
It is so
So I try,
yeah.
but yeah, I still battle it.
Mhm.
Like kind of going back and forth, like, do I up it? Do I
Yeah.
not?
Yeah.
But do I heal it through food?
Right.
I don't know.
And I feel like there's weeks where you just feel depressed almost because it takes over mentally. Well, because you feel so fatigued and your body just feels drained.
Yep.
And I say there's nothing you can do about it. You talked about nutrition. There are supplements, but there's only so much you can really do
Yeah.
when you have something like that.
Yeah.
Shout out to all the women out there battling with hypo. Because
Yeah.
I have a friend. She used to powerlift. She reached out to me. She's hyper thyroid, and I guess she lost like 15, 20 pounds within a certain amount. It's like, that's crazy.
Well, and I know like the thyroid part of it, like weight was just creeping on.
Yep.
Where is this weight coming
Yep.
from? There's no reason for it.
Oh yeah.
So yeah.
I call this my thyroid body because it's not like going over body changes too as you get older.
Yeah.
I know I didn't put that on my sheet. This is not on my sheet, but I've thinking about my body type as a high schooler when I was younger, and as a high schooler, then my college, and then pre-pregnancy, going through pregnancy, postpartum. Then I had a lean fit. Like it's just our bodies seriously are forever changing.
Yeah.
I mean, you're in your 40s, like what has kind of stuck with you on that? What is some advice you would give to females like that are, I mean, we are aging.
I don't know, because I'm still dealing with it.
Yeah.
Because, the leanest I ever was, Milo was, he was 5.
Yeah.
And for me, it was about 150. That's tiny.
Oh my goodness.
For my build. But just throughout the years,
yeah,
slowly putting more weight on. So I'm definitely into like the perimenopause part of it.
Yeah.
So weight is just again creeping up. Well, kind of. Yes and no.
Yeah.
But it's just hard because there's just seasons of it.
Yeah.
You go through like your heavier side when you're, younger.
Yeah.
I say I was always a little bit heavier, and then becoming a older, you lean out. When you have kids, you go up and then you go down.
Yeah.
Like it's just a whole season of just different weights.
Right. And I think it's all surrounded by too, like your priorities at that time too, what you're focusing on.
Yeah.
And I know it's hard because we see online others that are the same age as you. Maybe they're in a different season as you, but you sit there and you compare.
Oh yeah.
Why?
I don't know why we do that.
Well, it's because it's right there in front of our faces.
Yeah.
Constantly. So don't compare your season to somebody else's season.
Nope.
because it's not your season,
You'll
their
have your,
season.
yeah, you'll have your season.
You'll have your
You'll have
season.
it. It's just gotta work on it.
Yeah.
You gotta work on it.
Well, and also that take a step back. What are your priorities at this time?
Yeah. Is it raising family?
Yeah.
Or is it your career?
Yep.
Is it your health?
Yeah.
Is it,
what is it at that
what is
time?
it? What are you doing?
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Let's talk. I know we did kind of talk about Milo and him introducing you, but
Yes.
you really starting lifting first into powerlifting. What made you want to get into it? Because I know you started with my female strength training classes.
Yes. You know what? I think watching Danny.
We love Danny.
Danny definitely. Well, so we went to Milo and Danny and I were at one of the high school meets in August.
At the high school.
At the high school.
Okay, yeah.
This was Milo's 8th grade summer.
Yep.
So this is when he just started. And so we decided to go and watch him meet. And I was like, all right, I see it. Asking Danny like a million questions. Yep. And she's like, you're gonna do this. You're doing this.
Love Danny.
And then she told you, she's like, I'm bringing her in.
Yes.
So watching Danny, I think just, going to the all women's meet, that was huge. Yeah. That was an eye opener for women. I'm like, this is absolutely freaking amazing.
I know.
And there was all shapes and sizes, all ages, all strengths, all of it.
Yep.
And the fact that, yes, it's a numbers game, but it is you versus you, period. Always. Because who's doing the work? You're doing the work, right? In the gym.
Right.
And you're just striving to be better than you were
exactly
6 months ago, a year ago, or whatever. So, yeah, I mean, and then, watching Milo, like how much he really loved it. And that was such a huge one. But I think just being in the environment of just being around strong women and watching, doing like the all ladies lifts, like that was,
oh my gosh,
my first one, the one that Jamie and I went to. It was just, that was amazing.
Yeah,
it was so cool.
Yeah.
So yeah, that really just sparked.
We're breaking the glass ceiling, as cheesy as it sounds, but it's like I want to talk about with you. I know we're different. I mean, you're 15, 20 years older than me. When growing up, women being strong.
No.
What was the stereotype for women?
You were skinny. You were taught to be like 120 pounds and you were on your Slim Fast diets, and it was just smaller the better.
Yeah.
The smaller you could be was the best, like the better thing.
Yeah.
And I was always outside of that.
Yeah.
Because I knew even when I was younger, I had muscle. I was strong.
Yeah.
I mean, did gymnastics. I did competitive swimming. Yeah, I just it was just always being as small as you could possibly be.
And then now seeing that evolution, I would say, I truly believe like COVID was the start.
COVID was a huge spark and a lot of interest for health because, you had the time. It either went one or two ways. Either you made yourself a priority and health was a thing, or it went the other way where you just
yes, that is true.
You just ate out, like I know a lot of people just use that time and just didn't do anything.
That is true.
I continued to work out the whole entire time. I did not give it a break. Nothing.
So let's go through those styles, because I would say that you've kind of been in different styles of fitness. You've experienced different.
I mean, like I said earlier, like I was in gymnastics when I was a kid, competitive swimming with Wichita swim team. Always in and out of the gym, but not really knowing what to do. I had no guidance. I had nothing. Picked up a little bit on swing dancing. That was a lot of fun. And then ended up doing kind of a HIIT style boot camp there for a little while, well, for a few years, and a little bit of weight training. And then started working with you and doing the strong moms. Yeah, that kicked my butt. I'll never forget the first time she showed me how to do Bulgarian butt squats. I was like,
mind blown. It
I had
looked
been doing them wrong the whole 3 years.
there might as well have been a light bulb hovering over your
Yeah.
head because as soon
Yeah.
as it clicked, it's like ding.
Yes.
As soon as it clicked.
Yeah. But I would have to say, I love the style
Yeah.
of the strong moms. I, kind of miss it in a way sometimes.
Yeah.
Because I like more, the faster pace.
Yes, absolutely.
Because we know I'm a talker and I take 2 hours. That's where Milo gets it from, guys. I know we all, give him crap.
Jordan.
But it is me. He gets it from me.
I have to, okay, since we're talking about Milo, and then we'll go back to our discussion. But I laugh, Jordan, I laugh every single time because he has a specific rack.
Yes.
He has to squat in
Mm-hmm.
and he has specifics. And I was like, buddy, we've got to learn to adapt, my guy. That rack is not always going to be available every time, but he'll sit and he will wait.
Yeah.
He will wait and be like, I'm waiting until I can use that rack, that bar. Like this is, which he knows what he wants.
Not necessarily, but he knows what he wants.
He knows what he wants. He knows what's gonna, and I mean, if that's what makes his session better, then do it. But we laugh every single time because he'll just kind of chill. I mean, he'll come say hi to Mav. He'll just kind of chill. I'm like, what are you doing? Waiting on my rack. It's like, oh, okay. There's like 3 racks open.
No, what's that one?
We want that one. We want that one. So since you have participated in different styles of fitness, what would you like? What are the changes and kind of the evolution of Kari and your mindset, your body's changes that you've seen?
I would say, when I was doing the HIIT and the boot camp, I was definitely a little bit leaner, but I had the goal of, I kind of outgrew that gym quickly because in the back of my head, I was trying to grow my back and make it strong.
Right.
So coming, and programming with you and doing the classes, I put on some muscle mass.
Yeah, you did.
A lot of muscle mass, which is great. And that's what I want.
Yeah.
But also, that's just where back to the season, this is where I want to be right now.
Yeah.
I want to put on the muscle mass. I want to have the muscle to keep me strong.
Yes.
Because that's going to help me in everyday life, my job, because I stand all day. But yeah, the body recomp has been crazy.
Yeah.
We went off the rails a little bit with the rec, which again, give myself some grace there. Yeah. But we're coming back. We're recomping again. So we're coming back in. We're losing inches.
Yeah. Yes. Oh yeah. Well, and we're building too. Your program that we've got you on is you're hitting numbers that you didn't used to
or struggled
yes
on.
Like I would put those numbers in your program, you're like, all right, top single, that's what we got. And you're over here repping them out now.
And I would have to say, like, the cool thing about it, and this is why I know that I just love this sport, because every Monday morning is like Christmas. Like, oh my gosh, what do I have on my program today? And I'm sorry, but if you get excited for that, like that's huge.
Important. Yeah. And that's how you still have that fire and that passion too. Yeah.
It's there. Like I'm ready. I want to do a meet with Milo again, because that was so special.
Yeah.
That'll be forever like my favorite, but I don't know.
How many moms and their kids can say that they compete in the same sport as their kid? That's so cool.
Miles apart in age. Like that's so cool. I love it.
So with strength training outside of fitness, how has that impacted you being outside of the weight room? Like what with your mental well-being, with how you approach like working with clients all day, like different things in life? Have you noticed any growth or changes with just prioritizing your health?
I definitely with work, standing has been huge, because before, man, I was only able to do like 5-6 hours at a time there for a while, because my back was so injured. And it took me a year and a half to come back from that, and just building my back and to where it's strong has helped my career, like help my, being in the salon for sure. Just the self-confidence and self-esteem, that's huge. Yeah.
That's definitely a big thing.
Mhm.
A big, well, being everybody's so stuck on I don't want to get bulky. I don't want to get big. I don't want to have huge muscles, but they completely overlook
Well,
all the
yeah.
other
I
things.
remember, one of my clients had come in and she's like, man, she's like, you're big. I'm like, oh,
That is not.
I didn't,
Thanks.
but that's not how she meant it. At the same time, I'm like, oh, she's like, no, your arms are like huge. I'm like, oh, you mean jacked.
Oh, there we go.
That's what I went.
You should have a graphic in the salon.
Don't say
Like,
this.
yes, big with a pointed arrow, jacked.
Yeah.
Or yoked or something.
Yeah. Well, and then just the other day, my client goes, oh my gosh. She's like, you have muscle in the back of your legs. I'm like, my hamstrings? She's like, yeah. I'm like, oh yeah.
Thanks. Let me just turn around and
Yeah.
let me do a straight leg deadlift for you and really let you see them.
So definitely being here has made me stronger for work. And ultimately that's what I need to be able to work as long as I can and be strong and not have any like back pain or back pain or hip pain or anything like that.
Yeah. And obviously as you get older, your style of programming is going to change a little bit.
And I thought about that, like as we get older, like everything is going to shift.
Yeah.
There's going to be a time in my life or, all the masters, you're not going to hit those numbers.
No.
Just because of age.
Yeah. Well, and how your training is going to be laid out is going to be different. Just because your body will only be able to take so much.
Yep.
To the point where we can't overstress it. We can't push it to full fatigue.
Yeah.
Because then you're going to go backwards.
Right. Well, and then that's where the whole listening to your body comes into play.
Yes, it does. So I'm going to ask you one more question and then we're going to go into our little game.
Oh.
We've got kind of a game, kind of not. We're going to bust myths is what we're going to do.
Okay.
We're going to bust myths. So my last question for you is, what is one piece of advice? It can involve health, fitness, and mental well-being, or it could be one of those things. What piece of advice would you give your younger self in the position that you're in today?
I'm going to say for our younger girls, because we've got that going.
Yes, we do.
The scale. It is only a tool to measure mass. That is the only thing. It doesn't measure your lean muscle mass. It doesn't measure the water weight that you put on the night before because you had too many French fries. It is only a tool to measure your mass. It doesn't define who you are at all. Yeah. I would say also focus on your strengths.
Yeah.
What you're strong in.
Yeah.
And do not compare yourself to anybody else.
Yeah. Mic drop. That was good.
Yeah.
I like that. The scale is a tool to measure your mass.
Yeah.
That is so, that's boom, that needs to be said. Okay, to piggyback on that, I was reading about inflammation because, I'm trying to figure out my thyroid, but I don't know why I haven't thought of this, but inflammation it's make up of cells. So when you're inflamed, like those cells are filled with inflammation, if you will, but water.
Yeah.
Too. Yes. So if you think about that, like inflammation is not, it's added weight, obviously.
Well, and it's trying to repair what has been broken down. Yeah. So I've noticed, let's go back to the scale. Hey, I'm 46, so I can do this. Just noticing like the scale changes.
Yeah.
From day to day.
Yeah.
Like leg day, bam, I'm up.
Yeah.
A little bit because of the inflammation in the water.
Yep.
So again, the scale doesn't matter because it's just up and down. I like that. I need to make a little graphic or a sign that says that. Yeah. The scale is a tool to measure your mass. Yeah, that's it. That's all it is. That's all it is. That's all it is. Okay. Well, the game we're gonna play, Smash the Myths. Okay. And the topic is women in strength training. Obviously. Oh, I hear it daily. I hear it daily. So we're going to smash some of these myths. The first one being the one I feel like we hear every single day. We read it every single day. Women will get bulky if they lift heavy weights. And the fact
Women typically don't have the same levels of testosterone as men. So getting bulky from lifting is extremely difficult. Women can build lean muscle and increase strength without gaining excessive build.
Yeah. Yeah. I hear it daily.
My gosh.
Mm-hmm.
I don't want to get bulky.
No,
Do you guys?
whatever.
And Alicia said it best one day. She goes, people don't understand the amount of effort it takes.
Yeah. You would have to be in the gym for years and years and years and years and hours at a time, which is not even healthy.
And your diet has to be
Your diet has to be on point.
Well, at a surplus.
Yeah, for sure.
A certain way.
Mm-hmm.
In order to achieve that image that everybody's so deathly afraid of achieving.
But you know what? The look that I would say the majority of women want that defined look.
Mm-hmm.
They want that cut look, the toned look, which is not even a thing.
Right,
like,
toned.
I want to get toned. Guess what you're doing to get that? You're lifting weight.
They don't want to do that.
You're strength training.
Yeah.
So which one do you want?
Exactly. Pick it.
Pick which one you want.
You can't have both.
No, you can't have both.
You can't have both. No. Sorry, can't have both. But you're right. Everybody wants the toned
look.
And guess what? Guess what that's made of? Muscle.
Yep.
You know how you get muscle? You strength train. You pick up that weight, girl.
Yes.
You're not afraid of it.
No.
Number 2, lifting weights is only for men. Which, I mean, you grew up on that myth.
Yeah.
I would say.
Oh, yeah.
And the fact is, strength training is for everyone, regardless of the gender. In fact, it's incredibly beneficial for women in terms of bone health, muscle maintenance, and overall longevity, and our hormones.
Yeah, weightlifting and hormones, they play hand in hand.
Yeah.
I'm learning that because I'm doing a lot of hormone stuff right now because I'm definitely in that season of it. So yeah, I'm learning a lot.
Yeah.
Between the combination of both.
Right. And to talk about, I mean, talk about with lifting's only for men. I know, granted, again, I'm younger than you. When I first started powerlifting, I was the only girl in the weight room.
Yeah.
I was with all the football players, the O linemen, and they were doing West Side Barbell. But it was like when people found out that I was powerlifting, why?
Yeah.
You're doing what?
Yeah.
Like I'm lifting chains. That's what I'm doing.
If that was a thing back then for me, yes, I would have been training a long time ago. And it just wasn't.
Right. And now getting to a point where we're able to have a whole full-blown competition where it's women filled.
Yeah. Which is awesome.
That's so cool. Get out of the old times for those of you that think that lifting's only for men.
Yeah.
It's not no more.
No. Nope.
It is not. Hop on the train because we're living a long life with it. So hop on with us and get strong.
Yes.
Myth number 3, cardio is the best way for women to lose weight. Now, we can talk about this. While cardio is a great form of exercise, strength training builds lean muscle mass, which increases metabolism and helps burn fat more efficiently over time. So what I always learned with cardio and why a lot of people will see that drastic weight loss.
It's because you're losing your muscle.
Well, you're losing muscle. The inflammation is, it's not there because obviously when you strength train, you see more of that inflammation, more of that lactic acid buildup. But you're seeing that drastic weight loss because I mean, you're burning calories.
Yeah.
And again, to go back on the scale is only data for your mass. If you are eating at a deficit, you're burning calories with cardio. Obviously, you're going to see weight loss.
Yeah.
But is it the weight loss you want to see?
Again, you're going back to usually wanting to be that tone look. Yep. So you're sacrificing a little.
Well, and as soon as you stop cardio,
it all comes back.
It all comes back.
Yeah.
So,
absolutely.
Again, are you working for longevity or that quick fix? And even so, with cardio, like it's not going to be an overnight thing.
No.
Like people want.
Nope.
Myth number 4. And I want you to talk about this with your scoliosis.
Okay.
Women should avoid squats and deadlifts because they're dangerous.
Yeah, I've heard this many times. No, if you have correct form, you can do it.
Yeah.
You can do it. I mean, I have a little bit of a hip, what do we call it? A hip
instability.
Yeah. So sometimes when I come up, my body
Hip
does this little
shift.
hip shift.
Hmm.
And then sometimes my bar will be a little wonky.
Yeah.
But that also has to do with just how my scoliosis is. But I there's no dangers in it at all. If you're doing it correctly and you're not loading a bunch of weight that you can't lift anyways, you're going to be just fine.
Right. You're not ego lifting.
No ego lift.
But again, you even said your chiropractor, your
Yes.
ortho has even told you since you started strength training,
Mhm.
doing squats and deadlifts, you've seen the degree
Yep.
lessen.
I mean, I would I like my hips don't hurt as bad. They used to.
Yeah.
My upper back doesn't hurt as bad. I mean, they don't hurt. I don't want to say as bad, but they don't hurt.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm squatting safely is definitely a thing you can do.
All the ugly videos you guys see of those people deadlifting, and you see them and you're like, man, that's bad on your back. Yeah, because they're doing it wrong.
Yeah, if you're saying it's bad for your back, then you're lifting with your back, and that's not
that's not correct.
So yeah, I can definitely contest to if you do deadlifts wrong, you can injure yourself because that happened to me.
Yeah.
But learning correct form is huge. And that is one thing with Maddie. Like she will stop you in the middle of your lift, make you re-rack it or put it down to make sure you're doing the right form.
Rack it. Yeah. That should be a game. Like how many times I say rack it. And then I feel like that's like a button for them. They're like, all right, she's gonna tell me I'm doing something wrong.
Yep. Yeah.
Rack the bar. Strength training is quick for fat loss. And the fact on this is strength training is a long-term investment in your health and fitness. And when combined with balanced diet and cardio, it can help with fat loss, but it requires consistency and patience. Let's talk about the quick fix everybody's wanting. Nobody wants to work for a long period of time. Nobody wants to be consistent. They want something that's going to help them change now.
Yeah. I blame that on social media. Social media is huge right now, especially with the whole weight loss shots and all the things. Those are your quick fixes.
Yes.
But you're losing so much muscle and all the things.
It's not going to happen overnight.
It's not going to happen overnight. You have to put in the work.
Sorry. Yeah, sorry.
You have to put in the work.
For those people that don't want to put in the work, then you get comfortable with where you're at. Don't stop complaining.
Yeah.
Because
and if it is a quick fix, the more than likely you're going to gain it all right back anyways, because it's not sustainable.
No,
that's the thing. It's like if you're trying to do something quickly, you're going to do great for the first 2 months, and then after that,
yeah,
because it's so restricting.
Exactly.
Mila and I joke about this all the time. We like being powerlifters because we get to eat. We eat.
Yes, as you should. Your muscles appreciate it.
Yes. So yeah.
But don't go and eat like a McDonald's Happy Meal every single day. Not Happy Meal, McDouble, whatever Milo can. Milo can.
He's in the triple cheeseburger phase right now.
I want Milo to eat that stuff. Like, obviously, he is balancing it out with other things, but he needs some more calories.
I definitely if you really want to see changes, up your protein. Protein is huge.
Yes, on all levels.
All levels.
If you're battling hormone imbalances, forget the strength training. That right there will help you. That's what I've been starting to do. Is I start my morning with I have a egg scramble. It's 3 eggs and turkey sausage.
Yeah.
Start out with 25 grams of protein.
Yes. I feel like the earlier in the day that you get your protein, the better.
Yeah.
Because I don't know about you, but I get a little bit of like a protein meat aversion situation. If I'm eating way too much protein by the end of the night, I'm like, oh, gosh.
See,
I'm done eating it. I haven't experienced
that yet. I'm waiting to experience what Jamie talked about, her egg aversion. She eats so much eggs.
Yeah.
She's like, I'm done. And she'll like put it in her mouth like, no, done. No more eggs.
Yeah. I can get like that. I don't,
Well, if you eat the same foods.
Yeah.
I can see
Yeah.
that fighting that
Yeah.
aversion, but
Mhm.
yeah, protein intake is
Protein is huge.
so important on so many levels.
Mhm.
Last one here, and of course, we're gonna finish it with the powerlifting one because we hear this all the time. I know you heard it when you were first talking about starting powerlifting.
Yeah.
Is powerlifting is just about lifting the heaviest weight possible, and it's not for women. The fact is, powerlifting is about maximal strength in the squat, bench press, and deadlift, and it's absolutely for women.
Mhm.
Many women have succeeded in powerlifting competitions and are continuing to break records.
Yes.
And the training that goes behind it, again, I visualize people when they say, oh, they're powerlifters. They're literally visualizing us just in
One
here,
rep.
one rep, throwing the barbell around,
Yeah.
dropping the barbell, like,
Yeah.
like just doing grunts and, which,
Mhm.
yeah, don't get me wrong.
Yeah.
We have our moments. When you're pulling a PR,
Yes.
we're going to be screaming,
Yes.
but
Yes.
there's so much more to it. So much more to it.
Mhm.
And you, Jamie, Danny, all prime examples of with the age you're at too, the benefit it still has.
Yeah. I mean, that's huge. I mean, being a master's, like,
Yeah.
who would have thought? Like being this age and then you're lifting heavy shit.
I love it.
And I think it's amazing.
It's so amazing. And you guys, I told you this yesterday, you don't understand the example you're setting. I never, ever would have thought little 16-year-old Maddie that was weight training
Mhm.
would get to be around 40 plus
Mhm.
doing the exact same thing.
Yeah.
That's so cool.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like I want to, when I'm your, I want to be doing the same thing.
Mhm.
I want my kids and the example you're setting for your kids. Like
Yeah.
Milo gets to watch you
Right.
every single day
Yeah. Yeah.
doing the same thing. And
Mhm.
it's setting an example for him that age doesn't matter. Age is just a number.
No. Yeah. And basically, you can do anything you set your mind to.
Yeah.
You really can.
Yeah.
Anything is possible.
Yeah.
And setting that example with scoliosis, like,
Yeah.
yeah, I can lift.
Yeah.
I can compete.
Yeah. Yeah. And you have the positive, you have doctors that are backing you up on that too.
Which is amazing because I've had quite a bit of negativity throughout the year of just people not understanding why. Like,
Yeah.
why would you do that?
Yeah.
Why? You're gonna hurt yourself. I'm like, no, I'm actually stronger than I was a year ago.
Right.
How does that not
Yep.
motivate anybody to be like,
Exactly.
you know what? Yeah, let's start lifting heavy shit.
Yeah.
Let's
Yeah.
do this.
Yeah. I love that. That's awesome. Okay. Well, do you have anything else you want to leave for the people that are listening?
I'm going to say that the body achieves what the mind believes. So once you start, the hardest thing is to stop.
Yeah. Good. That's good. And then you guys have all, I mean, all the women that are in here, consistency is the biggest thing.
Yeah. Gotta be consistent.
You don't allow the excuses to be what stops you.
Right. Because that's hard. Like it's one of those things like once you stop, like you've given your excuses.
Yeah.
It is so easy to just let the excuse control you and then you quit and then it's just like a whole like
throw up
and down roller coaster mind thing.
Yeah.
No.
I love that.
Keep going.
Well, this was Kari on Beyond the Surface. Thanks for listening, guys.
Thank you.
And I'm sure she'll be on again. No, honestly.
I'm a talker. Let's do this all day.
Let's just say we did not get through all of our points. So I'm going to highlight the ones we did not get through. And she'll be on again. Thanks for listening, guys. And be ready for the next episode.
Yay.